Friday! Friday! This is the third video of week 6, and this should be May 8th already. You are going to be reviewing a few things with me and then turning in your rhythms and chords classwork 1. And I'm going to show you just one tiny extra tidbit of how to turn that in and how not to turn that in. So we are adding 16th notes for rhythms really quickly. Your 16th note is really just, each 16th note is half of an 8th note. And so I want to show you the relationship between these 16th notes and our other types of music notes. So if I highlight all of beat 1 here, your 16th notes are going to be 4 16th notes per beat. So all of this is beat 1. And then here's beat 2. And then all of this is beat 3. Now let me go ahead and manipulate beat 3 and turn it into some 8th notes. If I took both of these 16ths and I combined them, whoops, that's not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. I'm going to take these two 16th notes and combine them. They turn into an 8th note. And if I take these two 16th notes and combine them, they also turn into an 8th note. So it's like saying that the first 8th note is split into 2 16ths, and the second 8th note is split into 2 16ths. So let's leave those as an 8th note pair. And we'll go way back here and label. The very first note in each beat has to be called the number. Here we're starting beat 1, so we have to call this first 16th note 1. The second one we're going to call the letter E. That is super random feeling for now, but it'll make sense later. The third 16th note is starting the second half of the beat. And that second half of the beat is always going to be called an and. Let me show you that this 16th note and this 8th note, they have the same label because they are both starting the second half of the beat. So we have 1, E, and we're going to use a letter A for the sound and that completes our 16th notes here. So 1 E and So if you're keeping steady beat, you can say just with 16th notes only, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and The letter E and the letter A are the way that I like to write those out. But it's really the and that makes the most sense here so far, because that and shows the relationship between 16th notes and 8th notes. If we were only speaking a measure of 8th notes, we would have 1 and 2 and. But if there are 16ths, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So you can really see that there's a big old relationship there. This is beat 2. There is only one sound on beat 2, just that quarter note. We're going to let it sit right there as a 2. The start of beat 3 is an 8th note, and the second half of that 8th note pair gets the and. Beat 4 is just a quarter note, so we will say 4, and there's only one sound on beat 4. It's not split into 8th notes, it's not split into 16th notes, it's nice and simple. Beat 1, that's all it is. Beat 2, that's all you got. Now the start of beat 3 is going to see these crazy 16th notes again. 3, E, and And beat 4 is nice and simple, just a quarter note. We're looking at 2 beats back to back, full of 16th notes. We have a 1 E and a 2 E and Nothing on 3, normal number 4, and a whole note in measure 4. We would say 1 with an arrow and we count all 4 beats. Let's speak these out loud. 1, 2, ready, and speak with me. 1 E and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 E and a 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 4, 1. Whew, we made it. We're gonna sight sing today. Go ahead and store 16th notes away. We're gonna need them next week, probably the week after, probably the week after. But for right now, we are gonna review our solfege syllables for the key of C major. Now this sight singing is when you see a melody and you're able to assign it solfege, and then we can hear it out loud and we can also hear the computer play it for us. As you would expect, this melody starts on do, and this melody also ends on do. It walks around a lot, so we're going to label slowly and carefully. Do goes up to re, goes up to mi, fa, so. Pause whenever you need. So far, it's just our scale, really. Do, re, mi, fa, so. Above so is la. We've gone back down to so. Ha! The direction has changed. We're going backwards. Below so is fa. Below fa is mi. Below mi is re. And below re is do. We're staying on do. Measure 3 starts on do. We haven't gone up. We haven't gone down. We're just staying right there. We have another repetition of re, re. We've landed on mi with a quarter note. And we have a repetition of fa, fa. Measure 4, we've gone up to so. We are jumping down. This is not fa, this is not re, this is mi. And we've landed on do for the big finish. Let's hear this tune. Only eighth note pairs and quarter notes. We're going to start on do. La is going to be our highest note, and we'll come back to do. If we can get those eighth note pairs correctly timed, we got this. Go ahead and try it with me. 1, 2, ready, sing. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, so, fa, mi, re, do, do, re, re, mi, fa, fa, so, mi, do. And we sight sang it. So we attached our solfege to this tune. We double checked that we could sing all of these rhythms correctly. And then we used the playback feature to get a grip on our melody, and we sang it without any help. I want to show you your chords again. On the top of this picture, you have the scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. On the bottom of this picture, you have all of your chords. Your 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, and your 1 chord again. Now you'll need your chord symbols in the back of your mind at all times as you start your assignment today. You have these. Let's go ahead and take a second and find them. Given to you in week 5, how to write chords. It's doing this sneaky thing. Oh, let me show you what to do in this situation. Open a new window. If this happens, you go to your 3 dots and you choose open a new window, and it pulls it up right here. How to write chords PDF. Gives you your scale, tells you to stack the chords, and then you have all of your chords right here. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So, because you have all of this information at the ready and you're armed with all of this knowledge, when you complete your Rhythm and Chords classwork 1, you'll see that it's multiple choice. And that multiple choice gives you the chance to turn this in 2 different ways. You can print it out, take a picture, and attach the picture. That is when you click Add and you attach your file. Or you can say in a private comment, number 1 is choice, I don't know, choice J. Wow, 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 wow. Number 2 is choice Q. And then you can send that private comment to me. The thing is, do not mark this as being done until you have done the work, because that avoids getting an email from me that says, hey, you really need to do this assignment. So go ahead and notice, if you mark it as done, it's going to say you didn't attach any work. And that's its way of telling you that if you needed to upload a picture to get credit, don't do this right now because your picture is not there. This is a really crucial step. I know that it gives you this warning. I see that it gives you this warning from your perspective. So don't just go ahead and click everything mark is done and then think that you can just chill for the week, because that's only going to come back to hurt you. So I'm not going to turn that in because I'd want to print it and take a photo, email that photo to myself, save that photo onto my desktop, and I would want to add it from the desktop in particular. That's how I like to do things. So you'd select the file, I would go to my desktop, and I would have it saved here. All right, end of week 6. Success. We are doing so many things at the same time. Excellent multitasking. Good luck with your Rhythm and Chords classwork. I hope that you enjoyed the Berlioz PowerPoint on Wednesday. I know it was a little bit dark and kind of gruesome, but there's some crazy stuff in music history. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next time.